my face will I turn also from them.
So it was okay to dump urine out there.
And they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it.
Taking a pee on the space shuttle.
And they shall seek peace.
He made darkness his secret place.
And they shall pollute it.
We would do a urine dump out into space.
He made darkness his secret place.
It would kind of crystallize and disappear more or less, and to dump urine out there.
His pavilion, round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies.
Do you even believe in God? Do you believe God sits in his throne above the earth, like Isaiah 66:1 says? Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? That people need to ask themselves. You see, there's a lot of people who don't understand that this is a problem. Well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Full well, God, that ye may keep your own tradition. If you believe in Jesus, you probably get into heaven. And when he had spoken these things, he came up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, in white apparel, which also said he, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, in like manner as ye have seen him go in.
I'm Don Pettit, NASA astronaut. I'm an angry pig, and I stole the International Space Station. Space Station is a serious place. We're doing pig research. We have a regenerative life support system, which is a fancy way of saying serious research, scientific research, that we've got a research toilet that you use, and then a machine that goes chugga, 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. Serious research, scientific research, and that's exactly what you are thinking it is.
But water is such a precious resource up here that we also are cleaning up our urine and making it drinkable, and it's really not as bad as
Me.
We even recycle our urine.
Pig.
But before you cringe at the thought of drinking your leftover wash water and your leftover urine,
Chugga, 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 chug.
Being on space station, I want to do some physics demonstrations. Chugga, 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 chug. Some eggs. And don't ask me how I got the eggs on space station. I've got a bungee spread across the hatchway. Scientific research. And this bungee is kind of like a slingshot. And I'm going to show the trajectory that Redbird is going to have when I fire him with this orbital slingshot. Launching Redbird into space. Well, hey, we're already into space. Chugga, 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 chug. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, all the way. Chugga, 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 chug.
Chugga, 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 chug.
If you understand the math, if you understand the physics, it will allow you to go out and get angry human where you're an astronaut and you can fly in space. Angry human playing games. This is all that's left of Pig after Pig got exploded.
Chugga, 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 chug. Chugga, 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 chug. Chugga, 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 chug.
witness the power of drugs. And I think it's safe to say that drugs, but I think more importantly that we're very good drugs, do well, and we're competent. Drug situations where we with other drugs, and based on that past history of success, what it takes is drugs to push the boundaries of doing. So I mentioned before, we've been up at space station doing drugs and doing drug demonstrations, and every time we take another drug, how we're going to achieve success 5 years from now.
I'm tripping balls here.
I'm tripping balls here.
Into people's minds, some of which for the first time.
Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened.
Well, one of the images that is most striking in my mind is the iconic Earthrise photo, that mission. And that was a very important image to me because, first of all, it really was quite pivotal for several reasons in terms of shaping the environmental movement and also in making people start to think about our significance within the solar system and within the universe, and really how insignificant we are as humans and on our planet Earth, and also how fragile the planet Earth was, how thin that boundary of the atmosphere is, how we really needed to protect it, and how we really do only have this one true home. And that image really did put that thought into people's minds, some of which for the first time.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible made like to corruptible man.
To help start that environmental movement, people start thinking about the planet and the conservation in general and all of the resources back on Earth that we really need to make sure that we protect.
It has become an iconic image of spacewalking and what it means to be an astronaut.
What can we do in an age where so many people seem to be skeptical about what they see and hear to assure them that what they're seeing from us as you explore space is actually real?
Well, I think it's our duty to continue to just produce imagery of all types, video imagery and still imagery, and we'll do it with integrity, and the more we put out there, the more real it becomes to everyone.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man.
Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind nor on the sea nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Concludes the test. Propulsion system safety completed.
I considered the horns, and behold them another little horn, before first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
And then SpaceX is about helping make life multiplanetary, and the dream of Apollo.
And they had a king over them, winless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue, in the Greek tongue, hath his name Apollyon. Shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and law into his hand until a time, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. But the saints of the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever.
All right, that's a whole lot easier in zero G, by the way. So there you have it, Dragon version 2, capable of carrying up to 7 astronauts, propulsively landing almost anywhere in the world, and something that's designed, as I said, to be fully reusable, so you can apply this multiple potential dramatic reduction in the cost of access to space. Thank you.
Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other. I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beasts might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according great. And as I was, could he goat, came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the rams. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast a stamp upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, with great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the hosts, and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he spake as a dragon. And he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
This is the only place that humans have outside of planet Earth where humans can live. And if you like, down there on Earth, you can actually see it with your naked eye. You just go to the ISS website, and it tells you when to see us. You can look up in the sky, and you will see this bright little star moving over the sky.
Enoch chapter 18, verses 13 through 15. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains. And to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fife transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed time. And he was wroth with them, and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years.
And here we are, 6 humans on the International Sea of Humankind out in space, continuing an 18-year uninterrupted human presence on this fantastic laboratory. You can look up in the sky and
they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast,
you can look up in the sky and
they behold the beast.
You will see this bright little star.
They behold the beast.
Moving over the sky.
They behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
You can see that on many, many nights, and if you see it, think about that humans actually built this. That
and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder.
There are right now 6 humans, soon only 3 billion humans that live down on Earth. So
when they behold the beast,
give these guys a wave when you see them.
When they behold the beast, 5 are fallen, and 1 is.
I saw in my vision by night, and behold another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. To this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads given to it.
In the 50th year, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the life of Enoch, in that parable, I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000, were extremely disturbed. And then I saw the head of days sitting on the throne of his glory, and the angels and righteous were sitting around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins collapsed and gave way, and my whole being melted, and I fell upon my face. And the holy Michael sent another holy angel, one of the holy angels, and he raised me. And when he raised me, my spirit returned, for I had been unable to endure the sight of that host, and the disturbance, and the shaking of heaven. And the holy Michael said to me, What sight has disturbed you like this? Until today has the day of his mercy lasted, and he has been merciful and long-suffering towards those who dwell upon the dry ground. And in those days the angels will gather together, and will throw themselves towards the east. Upon the Parthians and Medes they will stir up the kings, so that a disturbing spirit will come upon them, and they will drive them from their thrones, and they will come out like lions from their lairs, and like hungry wolves in the middle of their flocks. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses, and they will stir up slaughter amongst themselves, and their own right hand will be strong against them. And a man will not admit to knowing his neighbor, or his brother, or his mother, until, through their death, there are corpses enough that will not be in vain. And Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it and their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the chosen.
Raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, the blackness of darkness forever.
For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly, and without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved for.
Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What see I? See a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it. And every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief that sweareth falsely by my name.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And there appeared a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. The child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns on his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth, stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the image of detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them.
On behalf of Ripley, Little Earth, myself, and our crew, welcome to the Crew Dragon. To all of the teams who made yesterday's launch, and these amazing feats show us not how easy our mission is, but hard things. Welcome to the new era in spaceflight.
Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. And the Lord said unto him, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And it was of heaven, and it cast down some of the host, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint said unto that certain saint which spake, Long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under. And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary, O thou that dwellest upon in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men, as with catapult a shout against thee. My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. War in heaven, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Neither was their place found any, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. And this that I saw another host of wagons and men riding thereon, and coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south. And their noise of their wagons was heard. The place the holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of heaven to the other in one day. I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth, and I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the 4 winds which bear the earth and the firmament of heaven.
Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new, take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven, and sat on the... And they went forth, and preached everywhere, the Lord working with them, and confirming the word with signs following. Amen.
As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it, will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey of the earth, for a spoil, and they shall pollute it, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none.
He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was, and he rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion, round about him were dark waters, and thick clouds of the skies.
My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it.
Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief.
And they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it, and defile it.
But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers.
This parable spake Jesus unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Jesus unto them again,
Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture.
And in those days the angels shall return, and hurl themselves to the east upon the Parthians and Medes. They shall stir up the kings, so that a spirit of unrest, and they shall rouse them from their thrones, that they may break forth as lions from their lairs, and as hungry wolves among their flocks. And they shall go up and tread under foot the land of his elect ones. And it came to pass after this, that I saw another host of wagons, and men riding thereon, and coming on the winds from the west to the south. And the noise of their wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place. It was heard from one end of heaven to the other in one day.
Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. But whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you.
You'd made some money from the sale of PayPal. You decided to build a space company. Why on earth would someone do that?
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
The goal of SpaceX is to try to advance rocket technology, and in particular to try to crack a problem that I think is vital for humanity to become a spacefaring civilization.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Which is to have a rapidly and fully reusable rocket.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
What are the things that need to happen in order for the future to be an exciting and inspiring one? And I really think there's a sort of look into the future between a humanity that is a spacefaring civilization that's out there exploring the stars on multiple. That's really exciting, and compared with one where we are forever confined to Earth until at some eventual extinction event.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
But the big innovation is still, tell us about this.
The
It's important that to be able to come back, to be able to return to the launch site and be ready to launch again within a matter of hours.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Reusable rocket.
Yes.
I guess paves the way for your dream to actually take, at some point, to take humanity to Mars at scale.
SpaceX or some combination of companies and governments need to make progress in the direction of establishing a base on another planet, on Mars being the only realistic option, and then building that base up until we're a true multi-planet species.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
In April 2016, SpaceX announced a mission to Mars, potentially as soon. This mission, known as Red Dragon, would be privately funded, guidance from NASA.
And there appeared another wonder and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Meet the Dragon 2, a capsule currently being developed to their original Dragon capsule, which has been supplying the International Space Station since 2012.
And I beheld another, and he had 2 horns like a lamb dragon.
How have you done this? These projects are so... These PayPal, Solar City, Tesla, SpaceX, they're so spectacularly different at scale. How on earth has one person been able to innovate in this way? What is it about you? Almost no one can do that.
And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
Elon Musk, I wish we had all day, but thank you so much for coming today. Thank you.
You're a neuroscience company, and you're working to build basically an interface to the brain.
Yeah. Electrode to neuron interface at a micro level. It's obvious. Micro level.
Okay, when that's going to fit into a hard drive, like how does that work?
Yeah. Where's micro level? Yeah.
This would be implanted surgically.
It's obvious. Yeah. A chip and a bunch of tiny wires.
And it would do what? Could you input?
Yeah. It's obvious. A chip and a bunch of tiny wires. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A chip and a bunch of tiny wires.
Okay, so
this is very esoteric.
Yeah, no, when will the interface implant?
Micro level.
When will I be able to get the interface implant?
Like children in a playground. A chip and a bunch of tiny wires.
Basically an effort in a healthy way.
Yes. It's obvious.
Elon. So this is the Dragon that Space Center is going to go up on Monday, correct?
Yeah, that's our Dragon spacecraft, or version 1, which is capable of taking cargo to and from the space station, including biological cargo like fish and mice and that kind of thing.
So when do human beings start going up in it, you think?
So we expect to complete version 2 of Dragon, which will have astronaut transport capability in about 2 years.
And most send satellites up into space, right?
Exactly.
But you want to do something much more ambitious with SpaceX.
Yeah, the long-term aspiration is to develop the technologies necessary to transport a large number of people and cargo to Mars in order to create a self-sustaining civilization there. In order to create a self-sustaining civilization there. And that's really why I started the company, was because it seemed as though...
To create the possibility for life on other planets. to create the possibility for life on other planets. To create the possibility for life on other planets.
Yeah, exactly.
Second, now let's listen. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he spake as a dragon. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
Who is able to make war with him?
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And he doeth great wonders in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
And deceived by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth, in the sight of men. In the sight of men. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Down unto you, having great wrath.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And they worshipped the beast, saying,
Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose name lie from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and when he cometh he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
In my personal opinion, what gives me the greatest joy every day is being able to look outside and see God's creation, maybe a little bit from his perspective. His perspective. His perspective.
I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images, that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, Ye are our gods. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this, and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified. Or let them hear and say, It is truth.
necessary to transport a large number of people and cargo to Mars in order to create a self-sustaining civilization there.
Get thee hence, written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and